Did you know that heading into tonight's game against the Orlando Magic, that the Brooklyn Nets are sitting at 6 in the Eastern Conference? Well, there's actually a lot going on in hashtag Nets world. So let's bring in New York Post Nets beat writer Brian Lewis, who's down in Orlando right now to get us all caught up on all things Brooklyn. Brian, thanks for joining us. It feels like I haven't talked to you in forever, at least since the what I like to call the trades. But the Nets are still fighting, and they're in the hunt for to clinch a playoff spot. Huge come-from-behind blowout win against the Heat Saturday night. How is head coach Vaughn getting and keeping this team in the mix?
Well, I mean, he's kept them all rowing in the same direction, for one. When they made the trades, they clearly focused on finding guys that A, play nightly, and B, are good locker room guys. And then when you throw in the fact that he does not allow any kind of excuses or alibis, whether somebody's hurt or whether somebody's out or this or change or a call or what have you, there are no excuses allowed. So I think when you throw that in along with the fact that they have shown an ability at times to play very solid defense, that's what's keeping them afloat. All of those things combined.
Well, I'm glad you said he looks for the guys that play consistently, or the guys that play, because that brings us into the next question. The team has said that Ben Simmons will most likely not be back with the squad this season. What's the latest on Simmons? What are you hearing?
I think it's fair that we can assume at this point that Ben Simmons will not be playing this season. I think what's next is they have to figure out what the following steps are for Ben Simmons. So he's obviously consulting specialists. They haven't been very specific on whether A, this is just the same nerve flaring up, B, whether this is a fresh or new impingement in the same spot, so say another herniated disc, or whether this is an entirely different problem. Now, I've talked to specialists. I just talked to one, Dr. Ahmad out in Dr. Anand out in California, from an affiliated facility where Ben Simmons got his initial surgery. And Dr. Anand was saying he thought that the overwhelming most likely scenario was this was just the same nerve flaring up. Because the herniated disc rubs on the nerve. That's why you feel the pain. So the surgery fixes the herniation, but that doesn't send the nerve back to its old state. That can take a while. That could take up to 18 months from when he first had the surgery, which was May. So in talking to Dr. Anand, he was saying the same thing that Ben Simmons himself has said, which is that he's had a nerve problem. If you're talking about 18 months from the initial surgery, you're talking about November. So we're talking the early stages of next season before the nerve is pain-free and firing at 100% and back to its old self. That doesn't mean that he won't be able to play over the summer, that he won't be able to play pickup, or that it's going to take that long for him to be on the court. I want to be specific. I'm saying he should be ready for camp, but you could see a different Ben Simmons as the season draws on.
All right, we're going to have to take next season as that comes, because they've only got 8 games left in their regular season, and it all starts with Orlando tonight. So what do they need to do to clinch a playoff spot, and who could they potentially match up against in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, they have the second easiest schedule in the East, the second easiest schedule in the league the rest of the way, and a tiebreaker on Miami. So frankly, if they can't hold on to the 6th spot, they probably don't deserve it. Now, what I would say is this: if you hold on to the 6th spot, then that's obviously a guaranteed spot, and you could end up playing Philadelphia if it were today. If you fall into 7th, now you're talking about a 7 versus 8 matchup. That could be anybody. That could be the Hawks. That could be Toronto. That could be the Bulls. They're all within a game and a half of each other. But if you hold on to 6, the most likely scenario would be playing Philadelphia. Obviously, it could be otherwise. It could end up being Boston. but I think the Sixers are the most likely scenario.
One game at a time, but hats off to Vaughn for what he's doing, keeping this team in the mix. Brian Lewis, bring some of that sun back with you, and thanks for joining us.
I'm going to try.